Bruce Dern is a name that many people recognize. He's an actor who's been in Hollywood for decades. With a long career in film, Bruce has played some unforgettable roles. He's even earned awards for his performances. But today, he's not in Hollywood. He's sitting in a courtroom, facing a legal battle. This is not where most people would expect to find a famous actor. As Bruce enters the courtroom, something strange happens. The judge doesn't seem to recognize him. The judge looks at Bruce with confusion and even a little bit of disbelief. Instead of offering respect for his long career, the judge starts mocking him. The courtroom goes silent as the judge begins to make jokes. He questions Bruce's age and makes fun of his appearance. The judge seems to think Bruce is just another old man trying to make a scene. The people in the courtroom laugh, unaware that they're mocking a Hollywood legend. Little do they know, Bruce Dern is about to teach everyone a lesson about respect. And as the truth slowly comes out, the whole courtroom is in for a big surprise. The judge stares at Bruce Dern for a moment, a confused expression on his face. "Well, well," the judge says with a smirk, "what do we have here? An actor trying to play the role of a man with a case." The judge laughs to himself, and a few people in the courtroom chuckle along with him. Bruce, calm and collected, remains quiet, but the judge isn't done. He continues to look Bruce up and down, commenting on his graying hair and wrinkles. "Must be tough to keep up with the world at your age," the judge adds, making another jab. The judge clearly doesn't realize who he's dealing with. He shakes his head, chuckling, as if Bruce is just another old man trying to get attention. He raises his eyebrows as if Bruce's presence is some kind of joke. "Tell me, Mr. Dern," the judge asks, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "How does it feel to be so, well, past your prime?" The courtroom starts to giggle. The people watching, many of them unaware of Bruce's fame, think it's all just harmless fun. They think the judge is just making a joke at the expense of a random man. But what the judge doesn't know is that Bruce Dern has lived a life full of ups and downs, filled with experiences and moments that most people could never imagine. And he's not going to let this disrespect slide. Bruce stays quiet, letting the judge continue. But inside, he's ready to show the courtroom exactly who he is. Bruce Dern isn't just any man sitting in that courtroom. He's a Hollywood legend, with a career that stretches back decades. Born in 1936, Bruce has appeared in over 100 films. He's known for his powerful roles, often playing characters that leave a lasting impact on audiences. He didn't just get into movies by chance. Bruce worked hard, paying his dues and earning every opportunity. He starred in major films, like The Wild Angels and Coming Home, both of which were big hits. Bruce's performances were always intense and emotional, capturing the hearts of moviegoers. He was a standout, even in an industry filled with talented actors. Bruce earned multiple award nominations throughout his career. One of his most notable performances was in Nebraska in 2013. He was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor for his role. That's a big deal in the movie world. Only the best actors get that kind of recognition. Bruce's work has touched millions of people, and his performances are remembered as some of the finest in cinema history. Even with all the fame and respect, Bruce stayed grounded. He wasn't the type of actor to let Hollywood go to his head. He lived a life filled with passion for his craft. He worked with some of the biggest names in film, like Jack Nicholson and Jane Fonda. His impact on cinema can't be measured by just the number of films he's been in. It's about the quality of his work, and the way he made audiences feel. But in that courtroom, none of that matters to the judge. The judge still sees Bruce as just another older man. Little does the judge know, Bruce is about to show him, and everyone else, what it means to earn respect. Bruce Dern isn't in court just for fun. He's here for something important. This isn't a Hollywood story, it's real life. Bruce is fighting for his rights. He's not the kind of man to let things slide when something's wrong. Bruce is involved in a legal dispute over a personal matter. It's a case that's been dragging on for a while, and today is an important day in the courtroom. He's fighting against a group who has wronged him. The issue at hand is serious, and it matters a lot to him. It's a legal battle over something he holds dear. What's even more surprising is that Bruce isn't using a fancy lawyer to fight his case. Instead, he's decided to represent himself. This shows just how much he believes in what he's fighting for. He's determined to stand up for himself and face this challenge head-on. As the case begins, the courtroom fills with a tense atmosphere. The lawyers exchange words, but the judge's attention seems to wander, and he focuses on Bruce. Instead of treating Bruce like the respected figure he is, the judge is distracted by his appearance and age, still mocking him in front of the whole room. Bruce's calm demeanor never wavers, but inside, he knows what's at stake. This case is about more than just legal rights. It's about standing up for himself and showing everyone, especially the judge, that respect should be earned. This isn't just about winning a case. It's about proving that no one should be judged based on their age or appearance. Bruce is here to make sure the truth is heard, and though the judge's mockery might sting, Bruce knows it's just the beginning. The courtroom is about to get a real lesson in respect. As the case moves forward, something unexpected happens. The judge, still oblivious to who Bruce really is, continues to make jokes. The courtroom is filled with a mix of nervous laughter and awkward silence, but then, a moment of silence takes over the room. A lawyer from the opposing side stands up. "Your Honor," the lawyer says, "I think you might want to hear this." There's a pause, and the lawyer looks directly at Bruce. The lawyer turns to the judge and says, "This is Bruce Dern. The Bruce Dern. The actor." The words hit the courtroom like a bombshell. There's a sudden gasp, followed by a stunned silence. People in the courtroom start to look at each other, trying to process what they've just heard. The judge's face instantly drops. He blinks a few times, clearly unsure how to respond. Bruce Dern, the same actor who starred in The Wild Angels and Coming Home. The same actor who received an Academy Award nomination for Nebraska. The same actor whose name is known across the world. The truth has finally come out. Bruce is not just some old man trying to make a scene. He's one of the most respected actors in Hollywood history. The courtroom, once filled with laughter and mockery, now goes silent. The judge's face turns pale. He looks at Bruce with a mix of surprise and embarrassment. The judge tries to say something, but the words won't come. His earlier jokes, the mocking tone, all feel like a distant memory now. The truth has completely changed the mood in the courtroom. People who once laughed at Bruce now feel a deep sense of regret. The judge, who thought he was in control of the room, now feels small. Bruce just sits there, calm as ever. He doesn't need to say a word. The truth has already done its job. The room is still in shock. The judge looks completely flustered, his face reddening as he stumbles for words. For a moment it feels like time has stopped. The judge shifts nervously in his seat, realizing the gravity of his mistake. "Mr. Dern, I didn't mean." The judge begins, his voice shaky. He clears his throat and tries to regain control, but it's clear he's rattled. "I didn't recognize you, sir. Please accept my apologies." The judge's attempt to backtrack doesn't fool anyone. The courtroom watches closely as he tries to cover up his earlier mockery, but the damage has already been done. Bruce's name is out there now, and everyone knows he was disrespected in front of the entire room. Despite the judge's awkward apology, the courtroom can't help but notice how different his tone is now. Just moments ago he was cracking jokes and making fun of Bruce. Now his voice is serious, even a little too respectful. It's like night and day. The judge quickly glances at Bruce, hoping for some sign that he'll let the situation slide. But Bruce doesn't say a word. He simply looks straight ahead, not giving the judge the satisfaction of an emotional response. "Mr. Dern," the judge says, trying to sound more professional, "I assure you that won't happen again." But it's clear that the judge is no longer the person in control of the room. Bruce's calm silence has taken away all the power the judge once held. The courtroom is quiet now. The people who once laughed at Bruce are now avoiding his gaze, uncomfortable with what they just witnessed. It's a tense moment. Bruce, however, remains unfazed. His silence speaks louder than anything he could say. And while the judge may be scrambling for forgiveness, it's too late for that. Bruce has already won. The atmosphere in the courtroom has completely changed. The people who were once laughing at Bruce are now looking at him differently. Some even shift uncomfortably in their seats, realizing how wrong they were. It's a strange feeling in the room, like everyone is now aware of how quickly things can change. The judge, now trying to regain some dignity, keeps glancing at Bruce, but Bruce remains calm. He doesn't smile or react to the judge's awkward apologies. He just stays still, his presence a reminder of the respect that was lost, and now needs to be earned. The other people in the room, who were once part of the mocking laughter, now avoid Bruce's eyes. Some of them start whispering among themselves, realizing how embarrassing the situation has become. They know they got caught up in the moment, laughing at someone they didn't understand, but now they see him as more than just an old man. They see him as a man who deserves respect, someone who has earned his place in history. A few of the court spectators exchange nervous glances, and some even mumble quiet apologies under their breath. They are ashamed of what happened. They now realize how important it is to treat everyone with respect, no matter who they are. They can't take back the jokes, but they understand the lesson in humility Bruce has just taught them. The judge, trying to act professional again, suddenly changes his tone. He's no longer mocking Bruce, instead he starts to listen more carefully, acknowledging Bruce's words and statements with a newfound respect. The judge's earlier arrogance has disappeared, replaced by an air of caution and respect. He knows he can't afford to make the same mistake again. The rest of the courtroom follows suit. The energy in the room is no longer one of amusement but one of seriousness. The people are paying attention now. They've seen how quickly things can go from light-hearted to uncomfortable, and in that moment, they understand that respect isn't something you just give to the people you think are important. It's something you give to everyone. Bruce may not have said much, but his calm presence has left a lasting impression on everyone in the room. The courtroom has shifted and the lesson has been learned. The atmosphere in the courtroom has completely changed. The people who were once laughing at Bruce are now looking at him with a mix of regret and discomfort. Some of them shift uncomfortably in their seats, their faces flushed with the realization of how wrong they were. It's a strange feeling in the room, like everyone is aware of how quickly things can go from humor to embarrassment. The once light-hearted mood has vanished, replaced by tension and reflection. The judge, clearly shaken by the revelation, keeps glancing at Bruce, but Bruce doesn't meet his gaze. Instead, he remains perfectly still, his expression neutral. He doesn't smile, doesn't react to the judge's awkward apologies. Bruce's silence is louder than any words could be. It speaks volumes, reminding everyone in the room that respect is something that must be earned, not just given when it's convenient. Some of the other people in the room, who had laughed along with the judge, now avoid Bruce's eyes. They seem uneasy, perhaps even ashamed of how they reacted earlier. The realization slowly sinks in. They had mocked a man with a lifetime of accomplishments, and now they're faced with the undeniable truth that their laughter wasn't just misplaced, it was disrespectful. They start to feel the weight of their actions. They know they got caught up in the moment, laughing at someone they didn't truly know, but now they see him for who he really is, not just an older man, but a man who has given so much to the world of film, a man who commands respect. A few people in the courtroom exchange nervous glances, some even mumbling quiet apologies under their breath, trying to atone for their earlier behavior. Their uncomfortable murmurs show that they understand how wrong it was to laugh. They can't take back what happened, but they realize the importance of treating everyone with dignity, no matter who they are. They understand that respect should never be based on appearance or age, but on the person's character and achievements. The lesson is clear: no one should ever be judged before their story is known. The judge, still trying to regain his composure, seems to recognize the mistake he made. His voice is no longer dripping with sarcasm, and his attempts at humor are gone. Instead, he starts to pay more attention to Bruce's words, acknowledging them with a quiet respect that wasn't there before. It's clear that he's trying to salvage some professionalism, but it's too late for him to simply brush off what he's done. His earlier arrogance has been exposed, and now he must act with care. The judge knows he can't afford to make the same mistake again. The rest of the courtroom follows the judge's shift in tone. The energy in the room is no longer light-hearted. People are listening now, focusing on the details of the case. The whispers and side glances have quieted, and the once playful atmosphere is replaced by a more serious, respectful vibe. The people in the courtroom, some of whom had judged Bruce based on his age and appearance, are now aware of the depth of his life and career. They've witnessed firsthand how easily respect can be lost, and they understand the value of giving it to others, regardless of their status or looks. Bruce hasn't said a word, but his calm presence has made the biggest impact of all. His ability to stay composed through the mockery has forced everyone in that room to reflect on their own behavior. The courtroom, once filled with laughs at his expense, now hums with the lesson he's taught them all. And though the judge and others can never undo what happened, they will remember the moment of realization, the moment they learned that respect isn't about power or fame, it's about recognizing the worth in every person, regardless of their age or appearance.